No season's satisfying unless you have that big cup standing beside you. Or this is certainly the icing on the cake.
You get some heartbreaks and good times. Nothing compares to this. I wish every player got an opportunity to go through this just once.
I'd like to say hello to Amber, Leah, Barrett, Graham. Daddy loves you. Yeah, baby.
I enjoyed a moment. It doesn't happen too often that you get a chance to play in the Stanley Cup final and win it. And what a feeling it is. It's unbelievable.
22 years. You did it. You made the move.
Great, just give me one more second here. We're getting a little bit damp in this celebration. I waited for 25 years for this. You haven't really waited all that long compared to a lot of other people.
It is the most visible and recognizable prize in all of sport. The one NHL players spend their entire lives looking to get their hands on.
My duty and responsibility to present the Stanley Cup.
But there is a tradition in this league, a superstition really, of which every player is well aware. Until you've won the cup, you can't touch the cup. That honor, that privilege, that moment of complete and total joy belongs only to those few who have successfully endured everything that comes with a season in the NHL. And now, as 6 grueling months of winter melts into the intense spring of playoff hockey, there are only 4 teams left with that chance. Welcome to All Access, Quest for the Stanley Cup. Last season, it was the Pittsburgh Penguins who touched the cup. Now, Sidney Crosby and the Pens are back to defend their title, with one-time Cup hero Marc-Andre Fleury unexpectedly back in goal.
The defending champions are going to defend still.
Their opponent in the East, the last of Canada's 5 playoff teams, the Ottawa Senators, led by a remarkably talented young defenseman from Sweden, and a veteran goaltender who spent the season battling more than just pucks.
The Ottawa Senators are on their way to the Eastern Conference Final.
In the West, the Nashville Predators, a wild-card team with the worst record among playoff qualifiers, surprisingly swept the top seed, the Chicago Blackhawks, and then ousted the St. Louis Blues to reach their first conference final, and along the way, turn Nashville into a hockey town.
The Nashville Predators are heading to the conference final.
They will face Ryan Getzlaf and the Anaheim Ducks, who ended 4 straight years of agonizing Game 7 heartbreak, taking an intense second-round series against the Edmonton Oilers.
It's a Duck win in Game 7.
And as the lone remaining division-winning team prepares for Game 1 of the conference final, tonight, like every night, there's another superstition that needs attending to. Veteran Corey Perry's pre-game routine.
Well, it's time I clear my head, just look around and start thinking about the game. That's the time I get to myself and don't have to talk to anybody or nobody talks to me and just sit there and relax. We know it's going to be a roller coaster of emotions, and anytime you win a Game 7, it's a special feeling, and everybody knows about our struggles that we've had in Game 7s at home in the past couple of years, and to get that monkey off our back and get into the next round and keep going, it's definitely a great feeling.
Tonight, Nashville is starting its 3rd consecutive series on the road, having won Game 1 of the previous 2.
They're going to try and intimidate us, boys. Bring our own energy out there, boys.
We get one chance at this Game 1. Here it is right in front of us here. We get an opportunity to take home ice and bring it our way here. So let's have some fun tonight, okay? Pex, Eki, PK, and Yarny, give us a good start. Come on.
for game one of this best-of-7 series. The Ducks in the West Final for the 5th time in franchise history. 2nd time in the last 3 seasons. For the Predators, tonight is their first ever game past the 2nd round. Right now, give it to him right away.
After the puck drops, it's the visiting Predators who have the early chances. But just 5 minutes in, it's the Ducks who take the lead.
Come on, boys. Cogliano's pass was behind Kessler. Shot by Silverberg. He scores! On the Ducks' first shot of the series.
And a tough start for Pekka Rinne. You're a loser. Nobody likes you. Yeah, good one.
It doesn't, however, last long.
Rat.
Just 7 minutes later, the hard-hitting game is tied.
With a shot. Score! Off a deflection in front, we are tied at 1.
Good job, man.
Good work, boys.
Let's keep it going. Make the plays, but if you're not there, let's chase down.
Gotta have that mentality here, boys. Hey, killer instinct. We're going after him here.
Good carry, guys. Keep it up.
Keep shooting, boys. Keep shooting.
Keep working here, guys. Keep working.
Stay away from that. Like, we're starting half of it. We don't want to play that game. So stop slashing them. Stop cross-checking them. If they punch us in the head, then maybe we'll get a penalty and go on the power play. Play hard here. We win the 2nd period. Let's go.
Keep working, boys. Keep working.
Early in the 2nd, the Preds seem to absorb the words of coach Peter Laviolette, as well as all the Ducks throw at them.
Carried into the zone by Ekholm. Back for Johansson. And then across for a shot. Score! 2-1. Nashville, Austin Watson beating Gibson.
And a fortunate bounce for Austin Watson. A break for the Ducks.
For the rest of the 2nd period and into the 3rd, goaltender Pekka Rinne is called on to defend Nashville's slim lead. And as he was in the first 2 rounds, the 2-time All-Star from Finland is again superb. But eventually, Anaheim breaks through.
Ducks control the draw. Lindholm with a shot. He scores! Game 1 between the Ducks and Predators headed to overtime.
Only 2 days removed from a grueling 7-game series, overtime can't be Anaheim's friend. Accordingly, it's the Preds who carry the action and eventually take the series' first game.
Let's go, boys. Hit the net here, boys. Hit the net. Out to the point. Subban across. Neal fires. Score! The Nashville Predators win Game 1 in overtime.
Hell of a game, start to finish here. Who's got the chain?
This has got to go to the guy who got all of his rest last night and this morning and showed up and had a big game for us.
Great job, everyone. Let's get ready for game 2.
Welcome to the Stanley Cup playoffs. Eastern Conference Final. The defending Stanley Cup champion Pittsburgh Penguins, led by Sidney Crosby, and the upstart Ottawa Senators and Captain Erik Karlsson as we get set for game number 1.
Success happens when 2 things come together. One is opportunity, but the other part is the preparation part. We have prepared hard. We're ready to go now. It's time to act.
Let's make sure we're ready to compete right from the drop of the puck, okay? We have to be ready to compete, all right? Let's get it done here. Come on.
We're going with DeFlower, Ole, Schultze, Rusty, Gansey, Crosby.
Let's go, boys. Start here.
Like most series this time of year, the Eastern Conference Final already starts as a war of attrition, highlighted by the perseverance of the team's 2 captains, Ottawa's Erik Karlsson and Pittsburgh's Sidney Crosby, both having played through playoff injuries.
Sit back and enjoy game number 1. A wrister tipped off the crossbar and it stays out. Hard. With a shot stopped by Anderson. The rebound. Anderson can't get to it. Wilson with a chance tonight. Greg Anderson comes up big.
Almost expectedly, The veteran Penguins' blend of skill and speed leads to a dominant start. And while the underdog Senators look rattled early, it's a Pittsburgh mistake that affords the first opening of the game.
Mark Mathard will clear it all the way back in. Heading to it is Brian Dumoulin, leading it there for Bobby Ryan. Out in front, they score! Sean Gabriel Pageau, who's been red hot in the playoffs, keeps it going. Ottawa off and running.
So that's the wake-up call. We didn't get hurt that bad. It's 1-0. We just got to play the game the right way. All right? Let's grab a hold of ourselves. Let's have a good period.
We need to shoot, guys. Rebounds and chaos.
Thus far in the playoffs, controlled chaos has worked well for the Senators.
Nice, boys. Keep heading.
And tonight, after 5 empty power plays in the game's first 30 minutes,
Now we're buzzing.
it's Pittsburgh's turn to feel the pain.
Where you going? It's not good enough.
Unrelenting, the Senators continue to frustrate the Penguins deep into the third period.
Don't get frustrated. Get determined.
But with time slipping away, it's one of Pittsburgh's stars who comes through.
And Kenny Malkin breaks the ice. And we will go to overtime. Deadlocked at 1.
In all of sport, there is simply nothing as final as overtime in playoff hockey. One great move or wrong bounce, and it's over. Tonight, it's the Sens who take advantage of both.
Here he comes. Ryan's in. He scores! Bobby Ryan wins it in overtime.
Out in Anaheim, it's a few hours before Game 2, and the Preds are hopeful they can carry on with the good vibes from Game 1, their third straight series opening win on the road.
Whatever happens tonight, it's alright, 'cause it's never gonna see the cold, hard light of day.
In my opinion, there's no such thing as momentum in the playoffs. I think that, every second of every game could be a second that you're losing towards the end of your season. So the importance of every moment, it just goes through the roof. So there's a tall task at hand today and face the biggest game of the season for sure.
Once a fixture in Montreal, PK Subban's exuberant personality has traveled well to Nashville, where he's become an invaluable team leader.
Why don't you just dump the whole thing on your head?
Be fearless with our game here. Make sure everybody gives 100% with what we're trying to do. It'll be worth it at the end with our investment that we put in here today. So make sure we invest a lot. Let's have a great game.
Come on, boys. Come on, White. What a game tonight, eh? Come on, boys. Here we go.
The Ducks look to even the series on home ice. It's Game 2 of the Western Conference Final.
Anaheim is looking to avoid losing the first 2 at home for the second consecutive series. But early on, it's Nashville that jumps on top.
Johansson on a breakaway. He scores! 1-0 Predators.
Hey, boys. Good start.
Good job out there.
That's it, boys. That's it.
Here we go.
Keep firing. Keep firing.
And now our first penalty.
Listen, you're all wound up right at the start. You're not going to be my all night. I got respect for you. You can talk to me. He didn't have the puck.
But did it not go right through?
No, the puck was on the other side. Well, originally it did, but then Nashville guy had it, right?
Bury him right here. Let's go. Need a goal.
Johansson for Neal. He scores! 2-0 Predators.
They're getting the hits in Anaheim, but they're not getting anything going offensively. I don't think Anaheim's been able to carry the puck over the Nashville blue line maybe more than once or twice.
We've got to be more aggressive.
Just before the period ends, the Ducks finally get going.
Condon will drive. He scores!
For them to get out of this period down by 1 is going to be a success.
Nothing should change here going into the second period. Avoid the slashes, avoid the after the whistles, because if we maintain discipline here, they're going to go to the penalty box. We're fast, we're physical, we're doing it inside of 20-second shifts. We're going to win this period right here. Set it up for the work. Come on. Got to get back to work on the gas, some attitude.
Less than a minute into the second, Nashville's early 2-0 lead is a memory.
Silverberg ties the game. Gotta respond in here.
And eventually, so too is the game.
Here come the Ducks. Ritchie with a shot. He scores! Slides it across the prevent for the empty net. He scores! What a tremendous comeback here by the Anaheim Ducks. So the Anaheim Ducks tie this best-of-7 Western Conference final with the series heading back to Nashville.
Big comeback. Now we got them out in there, all right? We control that emotion and stay with the program. The sky's the limit for us. We know that. It's going to be tougher. We know that. But we're a tough group in here. Great job. Let's go.
Music self. Hey, let's play. Let's play.
Back in Pittsburgh, the script is the same. Having lost Game 1 at home, Penguins defenseman Ian Cole is desperate not to leave town losing another.
You know, for us, we went to Washington and won 2 games, and that gave us a huge advantage coming back home with a 2-0 lead in the series. And for us to knot this thing up at 1 apiece would obviously put us in a much better situation than going down 2-0.
There's a certain sameness to playoff game days. But this time of year, a coach expects every player to be ready. In Pittsburgh's 2016 Cup run, rookie goaltender Matt Murray replaced injured veteran Marc-Andre Fleury. This year, when Murray was hurt in warm-ups before the first playoff game, Fleury had his chance for redemption.
I think everybody knows how tough of a year it is for him for personal reasons to be able to, set those aside and become, even a better teammate, having to watch somebody else come in and play the majority of the games. So I think we're, all proud of the way he's been playing. I think he's thriving in this moment, and it's something that, we always knew was within his grasp if he ever got a chance to get a hold of that net again.
As we get set for game number 2, sit back and enjoy this one.
Hey, tight on them, boys. Be tight on them. Oh!
Stripped down to its most basic form, playoff hockey is a brutal endeavor. And on this night, the punishment is on display from the opening whistle.
Go, go, go! Rost is hit hard. A good, hard, clean hit. A heavy run, and Justin Schultz favoring that right arm.
After the intense start, the focus shifts from those who dole out punishment to those who absorb it.
Heck of a play by Fleury.
As both goaltenders keep the scoreboard clean.
Stop by Anderson.
Heading into the third period.
Fleury a dandy.
That's exactly what we need. Hey, this is such a dirty. Okay? This way, hey, this way. Let go of my goalie.
We're not going to give them anything. We're going to stay out of the box, and they want you frustrated right now. That's exactly what we don't want to fall into. You keep your head, you keep your cool, we play hard, and we're going to get what we want here. And it's going to be an ugly slice one.
While the third period action favors Pittsburgh, when tested, Marc-Andre Fleury remains sharp.
Oh, yeah, good save.
As does Craig Anderson.
Comes up big.
Until the Penguins break through.
Evgeny Malkin. Kessel with a shot blocked. The rebound scores! Bill Kessel breaks the ice.
Stick with it. Lots of time.
Shut down by Anderson. The return, Weidman. His shot goes wide. Turris shot. Stopped by Fleury. The rebound. Fleury gets across on Hoffman.
Turris started this. Hey, Malkin him out. Not worth it, man. Not worth it.
3 seconds left. Here's Carlson, the long bomb. No problem for Fleury. Game 2 to Pittsburgh.
We're right there. 0-0 hockey game. You just didn't know what bounce was going to be the difference. Just sucks. Forward defenseman catches an edge, he falls down, nothing happens. I catch an edge, it's in the net. It sucks.
Can you give us a Let's Go Predators a couple times? Are y'all ready? Let's go Predators! Well, I could take you fishing, maybe skinny dipping, sitting by the bonfire playing Hank songs like a family tradition. Don't need to go nowhere, got everything there we need right here. It's gonna be a great afternoon, this redneck tailgate for two.
There are a few cities in America where music means as much as it does in Nashville, the country music capital of the world. But these days in the honky-tonks that line Broadway, there's another passion that's captivated this uniquely southern town. That game from up north, hockey.
Our redneck tailgate for two. Woo, baby!
From Nashville, the country music capital of the world, there are no country music curtain songs playing in this town right now. It's the Stanley Cup playoffs, and they're loving it in here.
Get up, Jones! Hold it! Get up!
While there is no scoring in the first period, there is still plenty of action. And midway through the second, the apparent animosity between the two teams becomes painfully obvious.
These two guys are really trying to lay it on one another. They're not ready to stop yet.
22 seconds to go on the advantage for Anaheim. To Perry. Sharp angle shot, score! Yeah!
Big set there. Good job, boys. That's a good start.
The third period begins with the Ducks holding on to their 1-0 lead. But soon enough, the Preds even things up.
On our toes, boys.
All right. Stay up.
Anaheim control, but Forsberg's there. Centers it out in front. Ellis scores!
Let's go. Come on.
Not long after tying the game, Nashville appears to take the lead. Not once, but twice.
Over. Go, go, go.
Hit him, hit him. Yossi, scores! No goal. Waved off immediately.
Okay. We got no goal. He went through the blue, so you guys can challenge if you want. Okay? We got no goal outside.
Make plays, make plays!
Here we go. Come on, let's push.
That's flat. Moving up, cutting across in front of the net. It scores! No goal again.
That's a penalty all day long. Went right through the blue and knocked the goalie over. Okay. Their D grabs his arm, pushes him in. We're in the NHL. Like, these guys can stop. But he went through the blue and ran the goalie over. If we allow that, everyone's just going to come through the blue with the puck and run the goalie over. No, it's not a penalty. This is totally different.
Finally, with just under 3 minutes to play, the Preds get one that counts.
Turn it up. Keep walking in there.
Puck fired him out of court. Rebound. Scores! Yossi!
Big shift. Big shift.
This one is over.
Talk about gutting it out. As this one is far from over as far as the players separating.
Nashville with a 2-1 win, and they take a 2-1 lead in this series.
Way to go, Max. Way to go, baby.
With their series now tied at 1 game each, the Pittsburgh Penguins head to Ottawa for Game 3. Not surprisingly, in a good mood. They are, however, missing several key players in what's become an extremely physical series.
We're fortunate that we have the depth that we have as an organization. It's just a next man up mindset. And, everybody's got to dig down a little bit deeper and help us find ways to win games.
You gotta think for yourself, all right?
Burrows in back of the goal, flushed out by Olimata. Turris off a skate. Hoffman scores! Mike Hoffman in tight. Off and running. DCC! Go, 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 go!
Back at home, Ottawa's offense starts strong. And before the deluge ends, the Sens have total control of the game.
Cole, Mafat, stopped by Fleury, they score! Spencer out in front. They score! There's Smith. Good hustle. He scores! Well, there's going to be a timeout. Matt Murray's going to go in.
4 goals in the first 13 minutes forced the Pens to make a change in net. And while last year's Cup hero Matt Murray is on his game, Ottawa's early barrage is too much to overcome.
Game number 3 to the Ottawa Senators.
At this point in the playoffs, hard choices are part of the job, and the post-game questions Mike Sullivan must answer, while expected, are nonetheless difficult.
Mike, could you walk us through your decision to make a change in net, and do you know who your starter will be there for Game 4?
I haven't even given any consideration to that at this point. We're still trying to digest, this game that we just played, and we'll sleep on it and we'll make decisions moving forward.
When the world weighed heavy on the heart.
This game, with its relentless pace, simply never lets up. Never allows for even a moment of rest, especially this far down the line, when the stakes are so high and the reward is so very close to the touch.
Cage me like an animal, a crown with gems and gold. Eat me like a cannibal.
The quest is now 1 week closer to an end, and all 4 teams still have reason to believe that this prize will be their prize. And when they do get their hands on it, you can bet they will never let go.
A crown with gems and gold. If I could only let go.